Hello Home Slices, it's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and I'm coming to you as quickly as I can with my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get started. Cynthia, wasn't much happening with Cynthia, and we see that her offer was accepted on the house for $940,000. So she got a new house, great. Next, we see Sheree pimping out Cairo at a photo shoot. Now the momager thing is very weird to me. It's very odd, very strange, especially with the type of modeling that he was doing with the shirt off and everything, and her encouragement of him was a little weird. But anyways, I'm like, you know, she's probably taking a good 10, 15, 20% off top, and she was telling him, you know, show your V, you know, that little V that you get when you work out, when men work out like that. And she's like, oh, your mama has the same V. And I'm like, and so Bob comes in and he's like, what? He's like trying to cover his son up with his jacket or whatever, being silly. But he did change the energy when he walked into the room and went from being you know, creepy with Sheree to being silly with Bob. But Sheree ended up kicking Bob out or whatever, and I thought it was sweet that he's really stepping up for, you know, to be supportive for the family. So next, Sheree, Cairo, and Cynthia all sit down because Cynthia is the modeling expert. She's probably been a model for closer to 30 years or something like that. But anyway, Sheree has big dreams for Cairo, but no dreams for herself. Sweet baby Jesus. Okay, she don't have no aspirations of her own, and I guess she's relying on the money that she gets off of being Cairo's manager to pay for Chateau Sheree. It's probably in his name anyway, so it's only right that he works to keep it up. Anyways, Cynthia, when Cynthia was looking at Cairo, I don't think she was lusting after him. I think Sheree needs to calm down on that. Cynthia going through a divorce, that don't mean she's trying to catch every young man that, you know, is in her presence. So Sheree, calm down about looking at him, especially after knowing who his dad is. You know, some of those, you know, deadbeat traits are hereditary sometimes. But anyways, Cynthia had to bring Sheree back tonight, back to reality, because Sheree don't know nothing about the modeling agency, or modeling world or industry, and she's trying to be a manager to her son, and I really think she's pimping him out. It feels so weird. But Cynthia was giving them the real deal, and she was like, he's so tall that could limit him. I didn't know that there was like a height that guys max out, but Cynthia would know. So Sheree was like, oh, you know, don't limit yourself, babe. Think big. And it's like, you know, Chateau Sheree is the kind of big thinking that messes people up. You don't have to always think big. You gradually work your way up. Because Cynthia was saying, you know, New York Fashion Week, that's, you know, at the top of the top. Y'all need to slow down. And, you know, Sheree needs to get a grip on reality, and that's why she's failing at life. She never listens to people who know better than her. She didn't even listen to Iyanla Vanzant, so I don't know what's going on. Next up, we see Portia. She's at Phaedra's house babysitting the two boys. They're running all over. She's saying, you know, violence is not the answer. They fighting each other. She's opening toys every 5 minutes. Phaedra said they can open a toy. She opened about 5 of them in just a few hours that she babysitted. Aiden said he don't trust Portia. Smart kid. And he trying to negotiate with her. But once the kids are all in bed and Phaedra comes back home, they talk a little bit about Todd and how she invited him to dinner with her family. And Portia volunteers to babysit once a week, which I think is a really good thing, not only to get her in the groove of taking care of kids and, you know, those responsibilities or whatever, but I said in a previous review that something about Phaedra and Portia's relationship lacked substance, and that the glue of their friendship was their dislike for the other women in the group. But volunteering to, you know, babysit somebody's kids is a sign of real friendship. So we'll see how long their friendship actually lasts. But next we see the family dinner that Portia has, where they're meeting Todd for the first time, and Todd is very shy, and he has a big smile, and he pulled the chair out for Portia's mama, and he didn't want to pray over the food. He was probably like, you know, they might not like the way I pray, or maybe he just doesn't pray that often or in, you know, public. But he was very quiet. His kids are old, 14 to 16, Jesus, and he was very hesitant when they asked him questions about their future, but Portia is taking the mature route, which I thought was wonderful because she didn't want to rush anything, and she brought up old Duke from the last season, and she realized that she was moving too fast with that, and you know, I guess they kind of scared Duke off, and so now she wants to slow down and kind of go at his pace and see where it goes from there, which is great. She's learning. But he said that he loved her and everything. For whatever reason, I feel like this is the first time that he might have said that he loved her this go round, but I don't know. But that was sweet. All right, next we'll talk about Kenya. She calls her dad on a broken phone, which I can understand because my phone's broken right now. My screen is cracked. Her dad says that Matt needs professional help, and he asked Kenya to get him on a plane as soon as possible so he can come out and see her. And so Kenya is excited to see her dad, and I kind of don't know why, because every other time that we have met him, he's kind of been a bit of a butthole, but this time around it looks like their relationship has really improved, and she was excited for him to see the house. But if y'all remember the house that she was renting previously, he was real critical of it, so I was like, I don't know why she was excited to see the house. And I always thought that Kenya was a bit deluded about her relationship with her dad. But since they had that like heart-to-heart conversation about her running away from his house and all that type of stuff, it seems to have gotten better. But he was excited about the driveway, but that was immediately crushed when he saw that the glass, you know, on the garage door was broken. Now, the problem I have with that is I don't know what the timeline is, but why hadn't she had that glass replaced on the garage? And I'm thinking that it's for her dad's benefit so that he could actually see the damage that Matt did, because it's clear that she had, you know, security footage because we saw it, and she could have just showed that to her dad. But I think for his benefit, she left it that way so that you know, she can make Matt look like the bad guy, part of the manipulation. And so I was surprised to see that he actually liked the house. I mean, the house is really nice, but he just seemed very hard to please to me. But I'm real glad that he was happy about it. The dad asked about what would make Matt snap, and I was like, you know, probably Kenya's cooking, because she said she cooked for him quite a bit, but whatever. You know, her daddy was spitting those Bible verses, and he was like, love is kind and patient. And I was like, tell Kenya what love really is. It's not kicking in garage doors, okay? And he wants to meet with Matt. So next thing we see, they're at a cigar shop. And here's another thing about the manipulation. We all know that Kenya is, you know, manipulative and fundamentally deceptive, because if he's 30 minutes late, why wouldn't you check your phone to see, or to text him, or to call him and see where he is? If somebody is like 10 minutes late, that's when you get in the mode of saying, hey, you know, are you coming? Are you on your way? How far away are you? But for her to wait 30 minutes and not check her cell phone, like, there's no way that she left her phone in her purse for 30 minutes unintentionally. I think that she did that to make him look bad. And so he sent her 17 text messages, and he probably did a few calls. And to me, like, if somebody is that late, you're definitely going to call and check to see if they're coming. I think she did that on purpose to make Matt look bad. But she calls Matt, and her dad talks to him on the phone, and he says that Matt says that he's been manipulated into the meeting and doesn't want to disrespect her dad's time by having the wrong attitude while they're having this conversation. So he asks about the garage, and Matt's like, you know, I don't want to have this conversation over the phone. But it's like, you know, just show up. Dang. Matt got mad when, you know, his voice got very abrasive, according to Kenya's dad. And he was like, and he told Kenya to tell Matt to, you know, change his tone because it was abrasive. And he was like, oh, okay. And he just hung up. He got real mad. But I don't think he believed that her dad said that, because he does believe that everything Kenya does is manipulative. And I kind of don't blame him. Matt does show up. Her dad said it's a pleasure to meet you, and that he actually meant that. And then he gives a church hug to Kenya. So I thought that Kenya's dad did a great job of mediating, and that he felt like, you know, a lot of us feel that there's enough blame to go around in that relationship. And Kenya said that, you know, under the right circumstances, she would definitely want to cultivate her relationship with Matt. But, you know, with the bad temper and everything like that, she just doesn't see it happening. Now, Matt thinks that he was manipulated into cleaning up the mess that he made. Now, he said, you know, if you and I are going to take we're going to take a step back from the relationship just to let things cool off, then you can't call me over to clean or make repairs or anything like that. Now, Kenya says that the cleaning and the repairs were for the glass that he broke. And I'm kind of under the impression that it was. I mean, if you made that mess, you really do need to clean it up. On the other hand, if somebody made a mess like that at my house, they wouldn't be invited back to my property, and I just have some, you know, a professional clean it up or something, or I could clean it up myself and have a professional repair it. But anyways, Matt says that, you know, when it comes to boundaries, Kenya wants her boundaries to be respected, but Matt's boundaries are never respected. And her dad was being very unbiased, and he was saying, you know, there are times where you can apologize if you're wrong, Kenya. And Kenya was like, I do apologize, but he brings up the same stuff, like, you know, a minute or 5 minutes later when I've already apologized for it. And he's like, yeah, I'll bring it up a day later, a few hours later, a few minutes later, if I felt the apology wasn't sincere and it was just to get me out of, you know, her face. And then Kenya pulls the trump card, which is the safe card. I just want to feel safe. And I think Matt resents that, because I think he feels like, oh, I've only destroyed things, I haven't actually touched you. But that's, you know, the next step. That's always the next step. And her dad, you know, they go outside, and it's the end of this meeting. And, you know, her dad says if it's really real, you have to fight for it. But if not, you walk to your truck and you don't look back. And, you know, I'm beginning to like Kenya's dad. In the past, I hadn't really. So next we see Candy with the OMG. That's what I'm calling her group of employees. It's OMG for the old messy gang. Don Juan, Carmen, and now I can't think of his name, but he's Candy's stylist, the other guy that was there. So the old messy gang all sits down, I guess, to have a meeting, but Phaedra's assistant calls to schedule an early dinner with Candy, and they don't know what that was about. So the old messy gang is dissecting Phaedra and Candy's relationship, and I'm very over them. They annoy me a lot. But the old messy gang is in disbelief of Phaedra's excuse for what happened with drama. And so they said originally that they actually felt sorry for her until she came up with that lame excuse. And so Candy's purple dress in the confessional it looks way too small, and it's like pushing her boobs way up here, and it makes her head look big. So I really like that. But they talk about what Mama Joy said to Phaedra, and I really don't like them. So next, Candy says that, you know, Phaedra claimed that she had a bodyguard when one of Candy's friends saw her, but she also claims that she has nothing to worry about because, you know, drama was not going there to blow her up. So to Candy that doesn't make sense, but to Candy it doesn't matter because you don't care about her. Why are y'all talking so much about a woman that you're not friends with and that you don't care about? And this is the problem with Candy, is that she doesn't know how to have boundaries. If you and I are having problems in our friendship, your employees are not people that you need to be talking about that with, regardless if they are your friends, because now they know my business and now they have, you know, their own opinions, and that's why people like Don Juan and Carmen think they can get in Phaedra and Portia's face about something that don't have nothing to do with them. Whatever. Okay, so they're saying that the bodyguard might have been Phaedra's boyfriend, or that she's actually afraid for her safety. So Don Juan brought up Chocolate, and Candy was like, oh no, that wasn't Chocolate because I know who Chocolate was. Now, everybody seems to think that she started dating somebody else before she was dating and before she was broken up from Apollo, or before Apollo went to jail. And now it kind of sounds like it has a ring of truth to it. I didn't really believe it at first, but it might be true. If you don't care about this person, if you're not friends with this person, why are they a topic of your conversation? Candy said, consistency works best for me. It doesn't matter if it's not your life. Who cares? We all know that Phaedra has been known to bend the truth. But if y'all aren't friends, why do you care so much? It doesn't, whatever. Okay. Candy is okay with the way their relationship is now, and Todd was joking about Phaedra setting up Candy to be blown up. That was borderline. That was borderline, you know, not funny. But we see Phaedra, who's meeting up with Drama's mama, and here is a few reasons why I think that there's some ring of truth to Phaedra's version of the story about the bombing. One, she's meeting up with his mama. Two, she doesn't seem to have any ill will towards him, especially since in the past we've seen that when people do things to Phaedra that she could be very vindictive and like just write them off. So anyways, Phaedra called Candy because she felt like the things that Mama Joyce had said were inappropriate and that she needs to check her mama. And so Drama's mama got emotional, and she just looked like a mom that was really concerned for her son, and it was, you know, pretty sad. But lastly, we see Phaedra and Candy at the table, and it was awkward. They couldn't even do small talk, and Candy, you know, they started talking about Mama Joyce, and Candy was right about her mama only saying things that were in the news, but it was not the time or the place or the proper manner to bring it up that way, and to keep saying he was trying to blow you the F up, he was trying to blow you the F up, he was trying to blow you the F up. And when, you know, Candy stopped her mom when it was just Phaedra and her mom, but you know, at the table Candy didn't say anything to her mom to, you know, shut up. And Candy was like, I thought that she was kind of turning a new leaf, because, you know, she kind of originally was kind of defending Phaedra at that dinner party or whatever when her aunts were talking about her, but apparently she's not on that page. She was like, you know, I can't control anything my mama does, and, you know, pulling that card again. But you know, at least Candy brought everything up to Phaedra's face. Phaedra claims that her parents got the bodyguard for her, and that might be true, but like I said, Phaedra has a lot of might be true type of stories. And they both established that they're not friends, and Candy just felt like she had to air her grievances against Phaedra. It says that while she tries to be cordial with Phaedra, that it doesn't mean that her friends and family have that same, you know, mentality of being cordial with Phaedra. Candy brings up old stuff to show that Phaedra is malicious. She talked about how Phaedra talked about Todd looking for change in the couch cushions. Candy thinks that Phaedra drew first blood as far as talking about her and her family, and so that everything that Candy did in response was true. And, you know, even though in court, you know, truth is the defense to slander, it doesn't mean that it's not an insult if it's true. If I share a part of my life with you and you use it against me, it's still an insult. But whatever. They talk about each of them having a laundry list of dirt that they have on each other, but Candy says that she hasn't revealed hers, and that, like I said, she thinks that Phaedra has been the most malicious. And Phaedra doesn't know why Candy is so mad. She's like, you know, you're successful. I don't know why you're mad about this. Now, Candy says that Phaedra just not being real, that she was ready for Apollo to go, and Phaedra kind of confirmed that. And she said, you know, it doesn't mean that I was not overwhelmed emotionally. She said Phaedra was ready to marry somebody else by the new year after Apollo had left, and Kandi was still mad about Phaedra confiding in Nene. I don't know why, but I felt like that was a nail in the coffin for Kandi. But whatever. And Kandi, you know, had the tea and she spilled it. And Kandi is the type of person that doesn't speak on a lot of stuff unless it's like actually true. And so this is why Mama Joyce does not need to get involved in their friendship, because Kandi can hold her own, and two, you know, because there is no relationship. But next time on Real Housewives of Atlanta, we see Kandi talking to Mama Joyce about the conversation she had with Phaedra. We see Cynthia and some boobs. We try to figure out how Sheree found out about Kandi saying that Phaedra dated someone before Apollo went to jail. And, you know, it's one thing to tell Phaedra to her face that, you know, you were dating somebody before your husband went to jail, but it's another thing to tell other people within the group. So if Kandi did that, I'm very upset with her. But you especially can't tell Sheree, because she brings every little bit of mess to the group. And I can't. Okay, anyways, and Portia's very upset about Kandi saying that about Phaedra. Sheree said something about Kandi being in the closet, and Portia's like, well, Kandi's still in the closet. And Phaedra says that Kandi sicks her thug/employees on her, and I don't disagree. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out, home slices.